What up, Giants fans? The rumors surrounding Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley are heating up, and they focus on the contract negotiations that they're going through right now. So I want to ask this question, a little poll question for all the real ones out there. If you could only pick one of these guys to re-sign, who would it be? Type 8 for Daniel Jones, type 26 for Saquon Barkley. Sound off in the comment section. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to go through some potential Saquon Barkley replacements if he leaves in NFL free agency or if there's a tag and trade dilemma. We're going to go through, I think it's 20 players that I think the Giants could look at as potential fill-ins for number 26 if he is no longer on the team next year, which would be unfortunate. Look, I'm a big Saquon Barkley fan. Wasn't mad at the pick of being him number 2 overall. I understand positional value, so probably wasn't the best pick in hindsight, but he was a key part of this team. He's been a leader. He always shows up to the non-mandatory offseason workouts. There's a reason there's a C on his chest. He's a captain, and he said he wants to be a New York Giant for life. Well, if you do, Saquon, how about you just accept the contract that they've already offered you? I do know this, though. The franchise tag for Saquon Barkley is most likely out of play because there's reports coming out that the Giants want to franchise tag Daniel Jones. And you only have one tag, so if you tag DJ, you're not going to be able to tag Saquon Barkley. Best case scenario for Barkley, if he wants to be a Giant, would be that DJ and the Giants come to a long-term deal and they can use that tag as somewhat of a placeholder for Barkley to come to an agreement, maybe on a long-term deal, have longer to negotiate that and figure that out. I will say this, though. This is the least confident I've ever been that Saquon Barkley will be back. I'll say it right now. I am not confident that Barkley will be a New York Football Giant next season. I think Joe Schoen coming from Buffalo. I think Mike Kafka coming from Kansas City. And I think Brian Dable coming from Buffalo know the importance of positional value, and I don't think they place that high of a premium on the running back position. Look at what those teams have done. Yes, they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, but Mike Kafka's not making the calls right there. They have seen that you can win big in the National Football League without a high-priced running back. We showed you the graphic a couple days ago. The running backs that have won Super Bowls, the last 10, they're all making less than $2.5 million per year. Barkley was great this year, guys. We know that. 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4.4 yards per pop. He was in the MVP conversation through the first half of the season. But he somewhat hit a little bit of a wall after the first 9 games. And it was really that Houston Texan game when he had, I believe it was 35 carries against him. In the first 9 games of the season, he was in the MVP talks. 900 yards, 4.7 yards per pop, 6 touchdowns, and a long rush of 68 yards. But in the last 9 games, all the numbers in the usage went off. Yes, the touchdowns stayed the same, but the explosiveness, the yards per touch, and the workload were not the same. And this graphic, I think, shows it pretty damn perfectly. He averaged 93 yards per game in the first 9 games compared to 62. He had 30 broken tackles in the first half of the year, 11 in the second half. His 10-plus yard runs were cut in half. So were his 15-plus yard runs, and so were his 30-plus yard runs. What does that tell you? That he wore down in the second half of the season, and that it's just a position that with more workload comes less results. Saquon Barkley reportedly turned down a contract extension of $12 million per year during the bye week. That would have made him the 6th or 7th highest paid running back in the NFL. Look at this graphic right here. I'll tell you this right now. The Saints were wishing they didn't pay Alvin Kamara that money. Same with the Dallas Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott. Same with the Minnesota Vikings and Dalvin Cook. Same with Aaron Jones, I believe, and the Green Bay Packers. And same with the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Mixon, as he is expected to be cut. The Carolina Panthers, they weren't happy with what they were getting from Christian McCaffrey either. That's why they traded him to the Bay, and he was a member of the San Francisco 49ers. The only real contracts that have worked out, second contracts for running backs for a lot of money, are Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. It's a risky game. So before I get into the full replacements list, I want all the real ones to sound off right now. Will the Giants re-sign Saquon Barkley? Pull out your crystal balls, rub them, and let me know, will they do it? Type Y for yes, type N for no down in the comment section. We're about to get to those 20 replacements, 10 in the draft and 10 in NFL free agency. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Cultivate. Go to wecultivate.com cultivate.us/chatsports. That's the link. It's also in the comments and description of today's show. Cultivate is the free browser extension that brings transparency to your Amazon shopping experience. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. With over 50% of Amazon U.S. sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keep money in the U.S. economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without any additional costs such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives that you can pick up the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards for using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the revenue they make on your purchase. So what are you waiting for? Go to wecultivate.us/chatsports and download Cultivate for free. Let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping experience. Find the best prices at wecultivate.us/chatsports. That link is in the comments and description of today's show. These are, in my opinion, the top 10, not best running backs in free agency, but 10 guys I think the Giants could look at somewhat. Look, Josh Jacobs, outside of Saquon Barkley, I think is the best running back in free agency. I think he's going to be a little bit too pricey. I'm not sure Tony Pollard will ever hit free agency, as I think he will be franchise tag. Miles Sanders, good back. I'm not interested. Too expensive. David Montgomery is someone that I would be interested in, as well as Damien Harris. I love Jamaal Williams, like the swag, the leadership, and the toughness he has. Maybe you bring in Devin Singletary, some ties to the Buffalo guys here in New York. Rashaad Penny had a good end to the 2021 season. He was okay in 2022. Raheem Mostert, one of the fastest players in the NFL. Or Deontay Foreman out of UT. Played really well with the Panthers down the stretch. Those are 10 guys in free agency that maybe the Giants could look at, but I'm going to say this. Don't pay a running back in free agency. You only have so many salary cap dollars to go around, and if you're choosing to not pay Saquon Barkley, let's go to the draft. Let's get a cost-controlled back for the next 4 years at a low salary and get the most production out of them. Look, I wouldn't be mad if they signed Jamaal Williams or some of the lower-cost guys we showed you, but I don't want to break the bank on Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders. So maybe you differ. You don't think the same way I do, and that's okay. This show is a show for the people, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. Name a running back you want the Giants to sign. Maybe there's a guy out there. Maybe there's not. If there is, let me know. If you're interested in the draft, let's talk about that right now, and I'll start off by saying this. This running back class in the 2023 NFL draft is special. It is deep. You can get elite guys in the 3rd and 4th round this year. I really think this is going to be a generational running back class. The best player in the class is Bijan Robinson out of Texas. I think he goes in the 1st round. I don't think the Giants will pick a running back in the 1st round. So you're looking at guys like Jahmyr Gibbs or Sean Tucker out of Syracuse. We'll talk about Devon Achane in a second. I'm a big fan of him. Take Bigsby out of Auburn. Kendre Miller out of TCU. I like the way he runs. There's some good backs in this draft that you can get in day 2 or even into day 3. But Devon Achane out of Texas A&M, Gig'em, is my favorite running back prospect in this class. That was a mockery of Texas A&M. Shout out to you guys if you're watching. I love Devon Achane, and I'm going to say this right now. When I watch his game, he gives me Chris Johnson vibes. Yes, Tennessee Titans, Chris Johnson, CJ 2K. He is the fastest running back in the nation. As a sophomore on the Aggies track team, he ran a 10.1 second 100-meter yard dash. That is incredibly fast. That is almost fast enough to qualify for the Olympics. This is someone that all he does is bust off big runs. He had 18 runs of 15-plus yards this season, but he's not just a guy that's a speedster. He also is someone that plays through the contact. He had 53 missed tackles forced this year, and he is someone that had 705 yards after contact. The reason I like Achane is because I think he fits what the Giants want to do on offense. They want to run a spread offense, and we saw that in the playoffs. Even against the Eagles, the Giants, they spread out the offense. And when the defense is spread out, all you need is a crease for a running back with damn near 4.2, 4.3 speed to hit the gap and go to the house. The Giants need more explosive plays. They were one of the lowest explosive play rated teams in the NFL. Explosive plays equals more wins. We'll talk about that on a video coming up. But Devon Achane, if you can get him in the third round, it's a big get. I also like Jahmyr Gibbs, but I don't think you're going to be in a spot where you want to take him in round 2. Let me know this. Is there a running back prospect that maybe I'm sleeping on, or maybe someone you're really high on? Let me know. A RB in the draft that you want the Giants to select down in the comment section. I will say this. My take on the running back position when it comes to the NFL draft is you should be drafting a running back in the 3rd or 4th round every single year. Keep that guy young, keep that guy fresh, and keep a low-cost controlled player at that position. And this is going to sound mean. Run him into the dirt, and then 3 or 4 years later, let him walk in free agency and just get a new guy in there. It should be an alternating door. Is that the expression I want to use here? At the running back position. Rotating door. Appreciate you, producer Coop. Look, I want Saquon back. My mind tells me no, let him go. My heart tells me bring Saquon Barkley back. I am emotionally just not in a good spot with this situation. I love to have Saquon back. If I had to scale my confidence 1 to 10, is Saquon Barkley going to be a Giant again? 1, no way. 10, yes way. 5.5, I'm not confident. I am not confident. Oh, appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope they bring him back, but I also kind of hope they don't. Look, yell at me at Twitter. Tell me what I should be thinking. Hit me up at @MarshallGreen_.